moral growth, one need a clear runway.
So here's how it says make payment.
At Manzi Valley, we pride ourselves in giving you the cleanest and safest mineral
next to ZNS Sopelo Camp. Come and
as 9,000 kwacha only. For only 9,000 kwacha, you get to buy a 30 by 20 size of land in 18 miles. If you can't pay it all at once, you still can pay in installments of 1,000 kwacha per month until you finish. For more details,
you need a conducive environment that couches and supports your development. A place for growth, innovation, and change. One with instructors that have your best interests at heart to tailor-make every lesson with exceptional standard education. An environment that supports your moral growth. One that delivers quality education to groom you and set your potential.
Has described the fight against corruption under the administration of President Hakainde Hichilema as mere rhetoric. Mr. Kabimba says the ruling party made several deceptive pronouncements while in the opposition that they had information on corrupt practices by the immediate past cabinet officials. He says the fight against corruption under the New Dawn administration should have been a walkover. The former Minister of Justice further claims the much promised fast-track courts on asset recovery is currently. He was speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
On the part of the president. Okay. He has been running with this mantra since he came into office of corruption in PF. I'll tell you who has stolen what. We are going to recover your looted property, planted property. He says, you know, there are ghost workers, you know, at the Ministry of Finance. No, not ghost workers, beg your pardon. Ghost suppliers of goods and services. Nothing so far has come up as evidence. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been charged. Nobody has been convicted. Nobody is even under investigation. Anybody who has helped himself to the financial resources of this country or otherwise, they must be brought to account. But what are also not accepting is to get on this trajectory of just alarming the nation, of maligning others, vilifying them, and psyching people because we are failing to work. That you are chasing this cost called corruption under PF. We want to see where this corruption is. We want to see who was involved. We want to see who stole what. You remember he said that he was going to establish fast-track courts to try cases of corruption. Not even one court has been established. Again, this was a figment of the man's imagination. Okay? If you haven't arrested any of Edgar's ministers for corruption, how does Edgar become corrupt alone? If you haven't convicted any one of his ministers, the people that were working with him, the people that were exercising his delegated functions, you know, as chief executive of government, how can you convince any reasonable person that only Edgar was corrupt and therefore you need to lift his immunity? Do the job. If he doesn't, the youth will fix him in 2026. And you'll be shocked. He's been crying for this job, you know, for years. Oh, they've stolen the election results from me. Oh no, they've stolen, you know, from me 5 times. And God says, Bwana, here you are. I've given it to you now. So let him prove it. That if he had been voted 3 years ago, Zambia would have been a paradise. But so far, in the 100 days,
Kabimba accuses the ruling United Party for National Development UPND administration of caring less for the citizenry relating to the COVID-19 guidelines given recently by the Minister of Health, Sylvia Masebo. He says the fight against COVID-19 should not violate the rights of individuals by making the vaccine program a mandatory requirement. Mr. Kabimba advises the government to invest in sensitization and awareness programs, especially in rural areas.
The statement from the Honorable Minister of Health does not refer to any piece of legislation on which those guidelines are anchored. None at all. It's a common sense press statement. But what is shocking is that we are told in that statement, that there was a meeting of the so-called Council of Ministers. It's the first time I served in government. This is the first time when I'm hearing of that ad hoc team. What is shocking to us in the Rainbow Party is that you can have a team of ministers, you can have a team of ministers, you can have all the vice president chairing a meeting to pass resolutions or decisions that are unconstitutional and illegal. Why? Because there are people in this country, in Tumba, that hold their faith, very, very strong. There are people that are avid Christians. And that is guaranteed to them under the Constitution. Freedom of conscience is guaranteed under our Republican Constitution. So you can't compel them, you can't force them to take a COVID vaccine jab. And you can't also say to them, if you don't take the jab, you will not be able to access government services or enter a government building. In other words, they can't even go to the clinic. Okay? Because the clinic is a public building. How can that be a decision, a rational decision from the so-called Council of Ministers? A decision which is as ridiculous as it is illegal. Then she goes further and says the president has directed, since they work under direction.
Now, the Zambia Union of Government and Allied Workers, UG, has urged the government to leave vaccination for civil servants voluntary. Organization President Muyaoya Kabisa says the move to make the vaccination mandatory is not logical because in the event all employees are vaccinated, they will still interact with people who are not vaccinated in their communities. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV Tuesday, Mr. Kabisa says in the event government wants to make vaccination mandatory for employees, then it must do so for all citizens. He has advised the government to instead focus on increasing awareness and sensitization so that people voluntarily take the COVID-19 vaccination.
Stakeholders have continued giving mixed reactions to the move by government through the Ministry of Health to make it mandatory for civil servants to produce proof of vaccination before accessing work premises, as well as members of the public before accessing government buildings. Zambia Union of Government and Allied Workers UG President Muyawa Kabisa says government should not go the mandatory vaccination route.
Really understand is why the vaccination should be mandatory when the same environment that exists at the workplace exists in the communities. You have a situation where in the communities the vaccinated and the unvaccinated coexist. Even those employees who may be vaccinated will still go to the same communities where there are those who are, not vaccinated. They will mingle in the markets, in the churches, in the buses. Now, why should it be mandatory that employees must be vaccinated, and if they are not vaccinated, then they will not access their workplaces, when in the communities the vaccinated and the unvaccinated mingle?
In an interview with Muvi TV News, Mr. Kabisa suggests that government should instead focus on sensitization to convince more people to take the vaccine.
So we say no to mandatory vaccination of employees, because the same environment that exists at the workplace, where the vaccinated and the unvaccinated coexist, is the same environment that we see in the communities, where the vaccinated members of the community interact with the unvaccinated members of the community. Stopping people from going for work really doesn't sit well, because we will fail to understand the reason why. So let there be voluntary vaccination, heightened sensitization. Let us show the people the need of the vaccination program, the need of getting the vaccine, so that even employees can support the whole program.
Meanwhile, New Heritage Party President Sharakateka has labeled the move unconstitutional, citing Part 5, Section 33, Article 4 and 5 of the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, which reads as follows: a person shall not be compelled to act or engage in an act that is contrary to that person's conscience, belief, or religion. A person shall not be deprived of access to an institution or a facility on the basis of that person's belief or religion.
Africa is the least vaccinated continent and has the lowest COVID numbers. Why then should we force our people to vaccinate in accordance with measures set out in the highly vaccinated, but also interestingly, the most highly infected nations? Have we commissioned our very own able scientific researchers to carry out our localized tests of the vaccine, and can confidently conclude that the vaccine is both safe and absolutely necessary for our people? We are urging the government to rethink their stance on this. We are of the view that we are copying and pasting solutions, once again, that are not workable for us as a country.
For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
You're watching the news on Muvi Television. Still to come in the news. 15 public service unions have rejected the recent resolutions implemented by government regarding COVID-19. And also, Judith Kabemba's Democratic Party-led faction has asked the New Dawn administration to take keen interest in the welfare of mines and miners in the country. We also look at a group of retirees comprising former civil servants of ZESCO Limited, Lusaka Water and Storage Company, and now Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company, National Housing Authority, Council, Tuesday, that stormed cabinet offices in a quest to have an audience with the Secretary to the Cabinet over their unpaid benefits. We have those stories and more stories coming up. Stay tuned.
Place a bet. Search on the web.
Bachelor of Education in Secondary Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Primary Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Special Education, Certificate in Early Childhood Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Diploma in Public Relations, School of Hotel and Tourism, Diploma in Food and Production, Diploma in Front Office, Diploma in Food and Beverages Management, Diploma in Hospitality and Events Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For more information, visit us at Regent College along Kwazi Road or the North Mid Campus at plot number 11 Luamba Road, Lusaka, or call us on 0955 787114 or 0966 787114 or 0977 787114. Fairview University College. We aim at excellence.
"15 public service unions have rejected the recent resolutions implemented by government regarding COVID-19. The public service unions, including the Zambia Union of Nurses Organization, ZUNO, have rejected the measures, saying they are an infringement on the human rights and workers' rights. According to a statement issued by ZUNO General Secretary Frei Mijelo, the unions have since urged government to revisit its decision. Health Minister Sylvia Masebo says no one is being forced to be vaccinated. She says stakeholder engagement is still ongoing. Currently, only 8% of the targeted population, those above 18 years old, are vaccinated.
15 public service unions have rejected the recent resolutions implemented by government regarding COVID-19. On Sunday, 28 November 2021, government through Health Minister Sylvia Masebo announced that it is a requirement by civil and public service workers to be vaccinated for them to be admitted at work. Despite adding that this will be done in consultation with the unions, Masebo says these measures will come into effect on Tuesday, 30th November 2021. However, the 15 public service unions, including the Zambia Union of Nurses Organization, ZUNO, have rejected the measures, saying they are an infringement on the human and workers' rights. According to a statement issued by ZUNO General Secretary Frei Mijelo, the unions have since urged government to revisit its decision.
As a union, we will not support the discriminatory and punitive measures that are being advanced by government on the vaccination. As unions, we want to remind government that implementing such measures is an infringement on the human and workers' rights.
Michelo says the target of public service workers was not justified, as they are only a small section of the whole population, that is, 200,000 people against 17 million. Another measure announced by the minister is that it is a requirement for all persons to provide evidence of vaccination before entry into government buildings. Michelo says the unions are only in support of mass sensitization and not mandatory vaccination.
We urge government that they need to take or undertake massive sensitization on the vaccines, just like they took massive sensitization on the measures to prevent COVID-19.
On Tuesday, 30th November 2021, the health minister held a press briefing where she was joined by COVID-19 advisor to the president, Professor Roma Chelengi, and other senior health officials. The briefing was held on what she termed as a clarification of the said measures after a number of views from various stakeholders who are both for and against the measures.
The government, in certain circumstances, can even take those rights away, especially when it is in the public interest. We have not taken the rights of Zambians away. No, we haven't. Zambians are still free to debate, to reject, to accept, to get vaccinated, and not even to get vaccinated. They still have that right.
There is a concept we call herd immunity. What you are trying to do is create a boundary for that population. We call that herd immunity.
On two occasions, both the permanent secretary and the minister herself directly addressed journalists who asked the questions.
I think that your understanding is a little bit off the line. And it seems like even as much as we speak, you are still coming back with the same question. The fact that we are consulting means that although these measures are with effect from today, it means that where there is misunderstanding, we are continuing to engage and consult.
Who have the mandate to disseminate information with the public are the culprits to the distortion of the information that the public receive. Victoria, at no point in a speech.
Currently, only 8% of the targeted population, those above 18 years old, are vaccinated. Professor Victor Mkonka is Zambia National Public Health Institute Director.
The measures put are there to protect the majority, the public. So having said that is that we need to ensure our workplace is very safe. You recall the third wave, you have been in Zambia here, and you saw how many health workers, civil servants we lost. I can tell you we lost 27 doctors from COVID. We had more than 800 nurses who got sick.
In the past 24 hours, a total of 12,239 vaccine doses were administered throughout the country. Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Judith Kabemba Democratic Party-led faction has asked the New Dawn administration to take keen interest in the welfare of the mines and miners in the country. Ms. Kabemba describes the current conditions of the toiling underground as unfair and insulting. She said this when she appeared on Monday's edition of Blunt Talk alongside National Democratic Congress NDC leader Savoy Imboela.
So for us as DP, issues that we are asking the New Dawn government to take keen interest and see how they can better the mines, because this is where it starts from. It's the production levels in the mining companies. They should find time, the Minister of Mines should find time to sit with the CEOs of these mining companies and understand the challenges that the mining companies have been facing and see how the mining companies and the government can meet in a certain point in order to better the lives of the people. We are also asking the New Dawn government to take keen interest in the licenses, mining licenses that were given under the PF government. You will agree and find that a lot of illegal exploration of our mines are happening. In Northwestern, we saw a number of people being arrested. Today, Zambia could be benefiting from the gold mine, but because of the illegal explorations that were going on, our people are not benefiting. Right. We are also suggesting that the New Dawn government should take keen interest in the remuneration that the miners get. How much does a miner who goes underground get? Because there is this variance where somebody who sits in the office will get $5,000. And the miner who goes underground comes out with a 5,000 kwacha. So these are the things that once production is revamped, once all these issues are put in place, then the plight of the miners should be looked into. We are also looking at corporate social responsibility. We need to acknowledge as a country that large-scale mining comes with a lot of negative consequences. And so the people where mining is taking place should have a share of what is coming from there. And I bring 15 years of experience in the mining sector. So when we are talking about the mines, we should not just talk about water on top there. Let us go to the root cause. When did the challenges in the mining sector start? I will tell you that the challenges in the mining sector began when the PF government went into bed with the investors that were here. You
quickly,
can never be
Madam
too
Kabemba.
friendly with the bed that you intend to eat the.
A group of retirees comprising former civil servants of ZESCO Limited, Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company, now Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company, National Housing Authority, and Council Tuesday stormed cabinet offices in a quest to have an audience with the Secretary to the Cabinet over their unpaid benefits. Group chairperson James Chipulu says the group was paid 150 million kwacha last year, with the government committing to pay another 150 million kwacha this year. However, there has been no progress on the matter. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News, Mr. Chipulu says the retirees are seeking an audience with the Secretary to the Cabinet to get an update from him on the matter, as well as give an update on the delay by the Ministry of Finance and National Planning to release the funds. Another affected retiree, Isaac Piri, appeals to government to look into the payment of the benefits for the retirees as they are going through untold misery, whilst others have even died before getting their money.
A group of retirees under the Local Authority Superannuation Fund LASIF Tuesday morning stormed cabinet offices in Lusaka in a quest to seek an audience with the Secretary to the Cabinet over their unpaid work benefits. Group committee member Gibson Ngoma now explains more about their visit.
Our mission here is to see the Cabinet Secretary, because the letter that he wrote asking Minister of Finance to pay the 150 million, it has taken too long. So we need the feedback, because whenever someone has given you an assignment, you need to give back the information. So we are bringing back the information which Minister of Finance has been giving us. Since then, because we need him to know that what he assigned them to do, we need to bring him a feedback.
And Group Chairperson James Chipulu says the retirees have been left in the dark over their money and are hoping to meet Secretary to the Cabinet Friday, 3rd December 2021.
So this 150 million were given to us by the government, that was last year. Then we had remained with the 150 million, which we are now following up. Unfortunately today, the ones that we are supposed to see are not in the offices because of the workshop going on at Mulungoshi International Conference Center. So the meeting has been postponed to Friday.
Other group members called on government to address the challenge of retirees, especially in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and its negative impact on the economy and families.
The situations, as retirees, we are people who are very weak. We are people who are very vulnerable, especially in the times like this when there is a COVID. Already we are told to stay home because of COVID, but it's very difficult for us to stay home when there is no food in the homes. So this is forcing us actually to come out and look for food. But if the government through LASIF and through the Minister of Finance can release the money, the 150 million which they promised us, then it will go a long way to help a number of us who are vulnerable. Actually, we are representing quite a number of people under LASIF. There are about 16,000 people who are waiting to be paid their monies.
We haven't been funded yet. But when are we going to have that 150? Because tomorrow it will be 1 December. And very soon it will end December, meaning that we'll go into 2022. We have got a lot of children. It doesn't mean that when you retire, it's a sin. No. One time, some of them, they will retire. They will be outside in their employment. Let's consider that the retirees, it's not a sin to retire. We need some children to get employment, please. I beg with His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema.
For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
This is Muvi Television and you are watching the news. We take a short break. Join us on the other side for more stories.
Presenting Mr. Money!
Airtel Money MasterCard is what I'm here to announce. Take it easy and shop online without a bank account. Spread the word when you promote your business online. Pay for ads, grow that hustle and see your business shine. Mr. Money, he knows it all. Mr. Money, he knows it all. Pay for a cab, TV subscriptions, shop and never stop. With Airtel Money MasterCard, just shop until you drop. Book a holiday, catch a movie, it's not that hard. Big and small, you're in charge with Airtel Money MasterCard. Introducing Airtel Money MasterCard. Shop online and do lots more. It's not a card, but works like one. Get one today from the Airtel Money menu. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
I woke up feeling great, need a kick for the day. Got a taste that is keeping me awake. Something fresh, something true, unforgettable, something new. I can trust as my interest all the way. So when I wake up, can't get enough. Every day, ever with tea, yeah, with my bread, over me. Every day, yeah, every day. Years of perfection bring satisfaction. Think milk, think Finta. Yeah, every day.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Join a community of lifelong learners. Copeland University is a dynamic place to start or further your education to be effective in your career. At Copeland University, we aim to offer quality, accessible, and affordable tertiary education across society with our well-qualified lecturers, well-furnished computer lab, well-furnished lecture rooms, high standard and stable online learning platforms. We offer programs in the School of Business, School of Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, the School of Law. We are making quality education affordable in Zambia. No application fees are required. We have reduced fees for all programs for every student. We allow flexible payments, pay in monthly installments. All our programs are accredited and approved by the Higher Education Authority and the Zambia Qualification Authority. Step into your future with confidence. Apply now. Programs available on full-time, distance and online education. Contact us on WhatsApp 0763 301 198. We are located at the Lusaka Main Post Office Building, corner of Cairo and Church Road, Lusaka. Email us info@copelanduniversity.com. You can also visit our website www.copelanduniversity.com.
Thank you very much for staying with us. You're watching the news. Now, the Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, has arrested and charged Ministry of Finance accountant Charles Loyana and his wife Susan for concealment and possession of property suspected to be from corrupt practices. SEC spokesperson Queen Chiwe has confirmed the development in a statement. Ms. Chiwe says the flats are valued at over 37 million kwacha. She says Charles and his wife Susan Sinkala, an assistant accountant at the Ministry of Works and Supply, have since been released on bond and will appear in court on December 14th. This is in the infamous 48 houses case. And our residents of Milenge district in Luapula province are appealing to the New Dawn administration to improve the road network. Lazarus Kaunda discloses, although the area is no longer faced with challenges of lack of transport like previously, most of the roads are impassable, especially in the rain season. Mr. Kaunda claims this forces motorists to start shunning the area, making it difficult for business prospects. Irene Chulufia adds, the poor state of the roads has prompted transporters to be overcharging on the route. Meanwhile, Milenge Constituency Member of Parliament John Desaka says he has already taken the issue to the Minister of Infrastructure, Charles Melupi.
Being one of the districts in Luapula province, Milenge is one of those districts with poor road network, which has continuously raised complaints from residents, accusing the past governments of neglecting them.
Tunachura sana mnyendere, especially mines. Ingeirele ni season twaingiramo uchu sana kwenda mu transport. Echale ngano kulalipira ndara ma transport mane yali dola.
Kubyo musebo wame. Tulepita kwa myoto kashire pita bwino. Na majinga kwa ibana maonda nomba maonda kuno yali kwa che majinga. Ne mitengo
For others, they explain how transport becomes difficult, especially during rain season. Meanwhile, Milenge Member of Parliament John Desaka gives an update on how he intends to improve the road network system and bridges in the district.
And this situation, we have taken it to the Minister of Infrastructure, and I've taken this question. They asked for a little bit of more time to understand how far they've gone. But from the information that I've got is that the designs and the preliminary works have been done. But what is meant to be seen for the people here is implementation. But then I expect the minister to come back to me during the course of the week or sometime next week, according to what they told me.
With the coming of the new Dawn government, people in this district are hopeful that their concerns will be addressed. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Milenge district of Luapula province.
Some parts of Mwenze district in Luapula province have been hit with a critical shortage of water. Helen Chisha reports that situation is exacerbated by the lack of boreholes. Harmony Mwelwa claims the area member of parliament David Mabumba in the run-up to the elections promised to install water pipes and taps in 3 villages, yet nothing has materialized. And Sub-Chieftainess Chongo, however, reveals that despite the installation of taps and pipes in some selected parts of the district, 8 months have passed with those who promised piped water have since disappeared. Meanwhile, when contacted for comment, Mwense Member of Parliament David Mabumba attributed the stalling of the project to financial constraints.
Water being a basic need for every household, either living in urban or rural area, but it is a different story for Chongo village residents in Mwense district, as they do not have clean water and are subjected to drinking water from the wells and a borehole, which sometimes dries up, which led to Mwense Member of Parliament to come to their aid by putting pipes and taps and promised them that they will soon have running water in the area. The move cheered residents, but were surprised that after the elections, the promise died a natural death, as it was supposed to be fulfilled before the 12th August general elections.
CDF yalichepa kanshina menshi tayafuma tayaswa iyo bayapanga fye madeko fye fifine fye.
Sub-Chieftainess Chongo has wondered why the lawmakers failed to fulfill his promise.
Kwa ipano na imani na tabatu bikira menshi baleta fe mpompi ya decoration yako ibatayabomba tatapako na menshi kanshi bala ndoko chibali bika mapompi asha kwa tamenshi ro nishite yako atamenshi tu yafena afuma muchipango na mukutapa pa bo para pa chintu wingi. She's now
calling on government to help our community by connecting it to running water.
So ndekabiro kwa chukuteko ngabwanga bwangandangurukira ko bwandetera kwa menshi muri inwe nchende Bantu in township nomba township taira ngati in township pafia bulira mu bwingi.
Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mwese District.
Thousands of traders from Munyaule Market in Lusaka Tuesday morning staged a peaceful protest at Lusaka Civic Center demanding answers over the alleged sale of Munyaule Market for 200 million kwacha and alleged pending demolition of the market. This will further facilitate the relocation of only 400 traders to Simon Mwewa Lane Market. The traders were given notice by the Lusaka City Council LCC that shops and makeshifts will be demolished on 1st January 2022 and that only 400 traders will be relocated to Simon Mwewa Lane Market when the affected traders are more than 3,000. The traders who gathered at the Civic Center lamented that the decision by the council to demolish the market will affect their livelihoods as they will have nowhere to do business from. Those talked to are disappointed and describe the move as unfair. They're calling on government to provide an alternative.
Okay, my name is Clinton Mbuyu. I'm a marketeer at Munyaule Market. I'm the one that sucks from that cow that they want to get from us. They want to get the cow, give it to an investor. They are telling us that cow, they are to put it on lease. Now if they get a cow, where are we going to milk from? So now, the government, we went to the council. We gave them, with due respect, we had to kneel down, we wanted peace. They never addressed us. We know that the council is a big institution in Zambia, but through freedom and our heritage, Zambians are getting civilized bit by bit. Can't you see? Everyone has a phone. Even villagers have phones. Civilized people, open your eyes. We are all becoming wise. So I'm appealing to the government. This is a peaceful protest. It's
number. Okay, inene boy mano chirungu. Acho telefone makamaka. Telefone kuti bateko address. Tonva ti market ya Munyaule balishitisha. Namba balefo kuti batwala ya kwisa. So please, twaisa kontova kuna wa minister wa gali nkombo batuwebeko what next? Trofa tushe mtarambo kulisha kuisaba kashina abana beso. Please twafweni, trofa mutu asuke. Twelomba kulimwe. Iseni mupepi mutu asuke. Twacha ku civic center tabachi tumolako. So twasa makuloko government tufwe fish bala tweba. So kono trolera wa minister bese tufwe bala tweba. Otherwise if you tutafilivu ino market mo tupusukira mo survive bareva kutava mu street batamvira ku Munyaule nomba ba mu street na Munyaule bara yakwi tatwa kwatoko ya please tumfwe niko ba minister tumfwe niko ba president otherwise twachula twapapata
at times we are just feeding from the mouth tatwakotanaka kusungana ngo kamo so fine twaisa kuno kuli nsala kunganda twatubapele so tibatobero bwali bweka mwa fiash kwa 10 koruse fit is plan to pay any plan to allow bika fwebene not if you to demolish market this is time nishta am free to station to sonkera fya mayanda tatwa kwa tamayanda kuno kwa 10 koruse mwa ba fiash kwa 10 koruse fwe bana benu tukwa 10 koruse fwe bana benu ngani ndala mababwacha sheni ngani ndala mababwacha sheni apapene 12 minutes mukutula 3 months amwa fiash kwa 10 call say 3 months that chapter 3 months finto tafira londoloka tuleli yako fya hand to mouth dimbi sometimes to attempt katwa bwera nokwera tatukwetera ngo kamu twaya ikoselesha awe mailofika bwino mwisa mtoyo futi mailo mnafatikala ndenchi twamba kubufuko bakachibesu awe kwa 10 call say afya kwa 10 call say twapapata kwa 10 call say twapapata mwa afya kwa 10 Okay.
A 46-year-old banker of Lusaka's Kamwala South area has narrated before the Lusaka Magistrate Court how he generated a bank statement and transaction documents relating to funds amounting to 4,400,000 kwacha. This is in a matter in which Milingo Lungu, who is Konkola Copper Mines liquidator in charge with money laundering, and when the matter came up before Magistrate Felix Kauma for continuation of trial Tuesday morning, Clever Hameja from First Alliance Bank informed the court that on 24th September 2021 he received a warrant from the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC requesting for a bank statement and the transaction documents relating to the matter. The transaction is said to have been conducted on 19th of June 2020. University of Zambia School of Law lecturer O'Brien Kawa says serious measures have to be put in place in the fight against violence and sexual harassment in workplaces. Speaking during an International Labour Organization gap analysis, Mr. Kawa says Zambia is among other countries in the southern region where violence and sexual harassment is seen to be on the rise. He also says the law should be revisited to cover workers in the above sectors and places of work. He adds the law should protect all workers regardless of employment status, including newly recruited interns, non-regular workers and those on probation.
All allegations of sexual harassment, as well as to protect persons against victimization, retaliation, false accusations, origin, grievances. And in my view, I think this should go, in terms of providing remedies, should go beyond policies in the context of employers and in terms of when they matter, for example, investment of court. So what are the standards required and other kind of stuff. So those are key. So our recommendation is that there is need for national laws to afford adequate protection to victims and witnesses against reprisals by making it mandatory for employers to put in place whistleblower policies that specifically address violence and harassment. There should be consideration made for adequate compensation, damages, and reinstatement in the event that the victim is relieved of.
You're watching the news on Muvi Television. We take a short break. Join us on the other side for more.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob? Bob! Bob!
Over here.
Where?
Over here.
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy a birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
We are delighted to add Lubumbashi and Goma to our network.
Welcome aboard Rwandair, Africa's safest airline that will connect you to more than 24 destinations throughout the network.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
The UPND, through its chairman for religious affairs, Kelly Mukonga, has refuted claims circulating on social media that President Hakainde Hichilema has abolished the religious affairs in the country. Mr. Mukonga says it is not true that the president has done away with the church in the country. He contends the president has co-opted the ministry to fall under a new portfolio for smooth operations. And Mr. Mukonga has paid glowing tribute to the head of state for the spirited fight against corruption.
The surrogates are saying His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema has done away with religious affairs. He doesn't want church activities in the party. I want every Zambian to get this correct information from me, that the president and his team are trying to realign religious affairs to operate under the office of the vice president. And as stakeholders, we are very happy over the direction the president has taken. We need to be given a policy framework on how we are going to operate under the office of the vice president, different from the way the religious affairs under PF was operating. And that's why the president has taken a bit of time to make sure that he repositions us in a very correct office so that we operate well and serve the church in a better way. I really want to spell out the rumors, the falsehood that is going around across the country by the opposition that HH has thrown out religious affairs. That is not the truth. And I request all church mother bodies and their affiliates to make sure they share this type of information to all the affiliates, that the president is trying to realign the religious affairs ministry under the office of the vice president so that we serve the church better. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank the president. The crusade against corruption is a very good move, and as a church, we really want to support that. We don't support thieving, we don't support stealing, whatever you can call it. We want the resources that were stolen to be really given back to the people.
Science and Technology Minister Felix Mutati says his ministry's digital economic transformation agenda is a key contributor in the country's recovery process. Mr. Mutati adds, government is focused on economic recovery, which is the citizens' ultimate happiness. Mr. Mutati says the ministry is currently looking at reviving the digital infrastructure in the country, which is being operated in silos, denying the customers ultimate happiness they deserve. The minister says there is need for integration as well as finding ways to avoid working in silos, adding that the integration lowers the cost of transaction. Speaking shortly after officiating at the Digital Infrastructure Synergy meeting in Lusaka, Mr. Mutati states his ministry is confident that integration and synergies in the digital space and digital infrastructure is a good starting point. That item brings us to the end of the news. The headlines as we go. Winter Kabimba mocks New Dawn administration over fight against corruption. Calls it false. 15 public service unions reject resolutions implemented by government regarding COVID-19. Water shortage hits Mwenze. Thousands of Munyaole market traders protest decision to demolish the market. The Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested the infamous owners of the infamous 48 houses owners. My name is Said Liz Nkonjara. Join us again at 21:15 hours for the main news. Pleasant viewing.